Hi, I'm Roberto Martinez and you're watching Toffee TV.
This is Toffee TV with me, Peter McParn and Barry Cass, as we look forward to Europa League Match Day 2, Krasnodar, deepest, darkest Russia. Can't wait.
Excited. Exciting times.
It is. Any time we get to play in Europe is exciting. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a difficult game, isn't it? It's not the best journey in the world. I'm not saying it's like, you know,
It's not planes, trains and automobiles.
You don't have to drive over deserts or go through mass jungle.
Not having to parachute in or anything like that.
But it's just the fact of how long the journey is. You know, it's tough on the old legs. When anyone who's been on a long haul flight, long legs, you wouldn't know anything about that. But having long legs,
I'm good.
You're in one of them bucket seats.
I'm all right. Fully strapped over.
But it's I think that's the biggest trouble, isn't it? They've flown out obviously Wednesday morning, and I don't know when they're going to get back. Hopefully by dinner time Sunday. Hopefully anyway. But it's an interesting game against a team that really are quite new to the scene. Only got promoted to the Russian top league in 2010, and I think that was because a couple of the teams didn't want to go up because they weren't financially prepared for it. But it's a club that have spent money. I think they've spent around £250 million getting themselves up to the top level. But I'm told that they're not sort of like an ANZI. They're sort of like a team that have sunk that money into developing young players and the training ground, and they're building the new ground. So they are a team that are looking for stability, and they're doing that by developing their own players.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like a more sensible philosophy than what ANZI have done, which is pay Samuel Eto'o £315 a week. Not that he's not. That's
probably good though, because that means he can come to us for £8.50 an hour.
But it looks more sustainable, doesn't it? Being able to develop your own players, and every club. That's the way every club should go, really, rather than throwing this money around the footballers to wear some terrible attire like one of ours had on the other day, mentioning no names, at Christian Atsu 20 with his horrific baby grow he had on the other day. But a relatively new club, like you've said, had some investment, but trying to do it the right way and trying to look for the long haul rather than the short, sharp fix. So be a very, very tough game for them.
They finished 5th last season and also got to the cup final where they lost on penalties. And so far this season they've played 7.
Won 5 of them, I think, haven't they?
Okay.
I think they've had 5 wins.
I'm going to start that again. So far this season they're in 7th place. They've won 5, drawn 2 and lost 2. I think they've won the last couple, including a win on Sunday to a team called Arsenal, funny enough. So they're doing okay, but in Europe they've done okay as well. They got beat away at Real Sociedad, and I think probably everyone thought the writing was on the wall, but the second leg they destroyed them, beat them 3-0, which sort of gives you an idea of how they can play. Obviously in match day 1, while we were putting the sword to Wolfsburg, they were drawing 1-1 away to Lille, which they probably thought was a decent result. And I seen highlights of the game, and they looked all right. They looked like they were going through the gear as well, and looked like they can be a dangerous side.
They were winning as well, weren't they, in Lille? So this isn't going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. So I think if Everton were to get a point there, I think Roberto Martinez would look at that as a good result. If they come out the game with 4 points out of 6, the opening 2 games, I think he'd be delighted with that kind of a team.
Because we mentioned this before, haven't we? You win your home games, and you're practically through in the Europa League if you win your home games. So if you can pick up points away, then all credit to you. And I remember, I think 2009 was it, when our second match day was Bate Borisov. And I remember KO scored very, very late on to win, and we won 2-1. And at the time, I remember thinking, well, I was happy with the draw, but in the end, those 3 points were invaluable. So it is important if you can't.
That was the Al Shimon
the Al
celebration, wasn't it?
The in honour of the people who died, and so it is important to pick up points, whether it be 1 or 3, because who knows, we might get down the line where we've got even less players to pick from, and
or more.
Yeah, but we might have less. We might have tougher times ahead. Who knows? And picking up points on any away tip is really important.
I think you know, we've looked at the squad that's gone out there, and the likes of Ryan Ledson, Tyus Browning, you know, fantastic European experience for them. I think it helps Everton develop as a squad. I think when you spend the time away as a squad, it helps you bond, it helps you. You can give the players more input. You know, the coaching staff, you're with them for a period of time. And I think that's what Everton need at the moment. I think they need as much time together as possible to try to get in to that, you know, little bit of form. Of course, Aidan McGeady has got experience at the Russian League. Samuel Eto'o has got experience of playing the Krasnodar.
Tim Howard's actually played at the ground as well for the American team.
You know, so there you go. So it's not exactly going to be, you know, a place where nobody's got any idea what to expect. So I think it's a good thing. I'm loving being in Europe. I'm loving it. You know,
and well, you know. It's a pretty strong squad. No Coleman, no Distan, no Pienaar, no McCarthy. So anyone
Coney hasn't gone out.
Coney isn't. So anyone who's got sort of any kind of knock or niggle hasn't got on the plane, which is understandable, not only from a footballing point of view, but as you mentioned, the travelling is not good for anyone who's got any kind of stiffness in the legs. I mean,
no, but I think for the likes of James McCarthy and Seamus Coleman, who's got an eye for Sunday with both of those players, if you're travelling on a plane and then sitting around and travelling back, Ross Barkley's another one, of course, they're better off staying at Finch Farm and getting treatments and going, you know, doing some swimming and things like that and getting yourself prepared. It gives you that extra 3 days of getting treatment to get you ready for Sunday, because obviously, ideally, at United, we want Coleman and McCarthy back.
And again, as we were just saying about the team, if Everton were to go there and pick up 3 points, later on, then he can look at other games. Maybe the Wolfsburg one, if it comes to it, if we're already qualified, you can say, right, I can send more kids, I can leave more at home. You can get a better balance of what he needs. I mean, because, you know, when these away tips are on, we're playing away games, so you've got travelling and then more travelling, so you know, that's important. Again, I'm informed Krasnodar are a team who like to play on the break, very much on the break, which I suppose the way we play, if we play our normal game, that suits their style. So that's where the game suddenly becomes dangerous, because if we're playing pass, and then they're hitting us on the break, we mightn't fancy that. So it'll be interesting whether Roberto Martinez has looked at that and thought, well, if that's the way they like to play, should we change it up and try and play a little bit on the counter attack as well?
No, I think you'll just continue with possession, and we'll leave our stamp on the game. You'd have to see how the game pans out, don't you? I would imagine Everton will have 60% possession. Not seen much of Krasnodar. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have, but I imagine they'll be quite bright and quick on the break. So we'll just have to make sure that we've got players in the right position if the move does break down. But you know, it's certainly a game Everton can win. There's no question about it. But it will be a tough game, and it's one that really it'll tell Martinez a lot about the team, and it'll build experience for players, and vital experience as well.
Well, a few players to look out for. One is Wanderson. Good old Wanderson, Brazilian Wanderson, who was the top goal scorer last season with 12 goals. He's got 6 so far this season, well, 3 in the league and 3 in the Europa League, so he's definitely one to look out for. Jazino, that's probably pronounced it completely wrong, but that's how it looks like to me.
That's Davis.
He's scored this season has already scored 9 times and has 3 assists.
9 goals already.
Yeah. Well, this season started a bit earlier than ours.
Still all right. 9.
Another Brazilian is Ari. He used to play for Spartak Moscow. He's a good player. I'm told. None of this is my information. I'm told he's a really good player as well. And they've also got a Swedish defender called Granqvist. So there's a mix.
Oh no, Granqvist.
There's a mix of Russians and Europeans and Brazilians in there, like there are for most Russian teams. Yeah. Funny enough, so it's going to be a tough game. We know it is. We know it's going to be difficult. We know the ground's not going to be what players are used to. I'm told that the surface is fine. The place is okay. The place for fans is going to be great. We're taking 475, which is an absolutely amazing effort, and all those fans should get priority away tickets for life, as far as I'm concerned, because that's brilliant dedication. Even though the tickets were only £2, but everything else you have to pay for. So I'm looking forward to it. I think what this game does, it's like if you can win this game, what it shows is a little bit more than just being a good football team. It shows that you've got character and you've got a spirit to stick together and go to these places and dig deep and get something out of it and then come back.
Sets you up as well, of course. If Everton win this game, that's 6 points from their opening 2 games. You're talking only needing 4 points from 4 games then, really. I think you're getting through on 10 points. Massive, massive incentive there. Like we said, it then frees up a couple of games later on, coming up to December, when December's incredibly busy already. To have an extra European game as well, where you can take your foot off the pedal, will be lovely. But it will be a tough game. Fans are fantastic, the amount that have gone out there. Hopefully wish them a safe journey to and from Russia, and let's hope we're all celebrating, because we want to start turning. We don't want to have a positive result and then lose and lose and then try and get a positive result and then lose. We want to get momentum.
And if Everton can get the win, it's a big boost for Sunday. Then it just lifts the spirits a little bit more. Right, big thank you to Chris Holly, who's provided me with all this information. He's a top-notch amateur statistician and reporter on all things, and one of his little specialities is Russian football. So big thanks to Chris Holly. Chris Holly _EFC on Twitter. If anyone wants to follow him, he's full of loads of facts and information about
and German league.
German leagues,
about
yeah.
The German
he's
league.
Big on the Germans as well. He's a bit of a hipster as it goes. So make sure you follow him. This has been Baz and Ped for Toffee TV, looking at Krasnodar game. Good luck to the Blues.